Thank you so much for sticking around to the end for this exciting bit. So in conjunction with the Malaysian Urban Forum 2020, we'll be launching an app that can help provide a fun and healthy way for us to combat the increase of carbon emissions. But first, I'd like to call upon one of the minds that helped make this project possible, Puan Norliza Hashim, the CEO of Urbanice Malaysia, to come onto the stage and give us an opening speech.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yang berhormat our Deputy Minister of Housing and Local Government, and also yang berbahagia Dr. Nagu, TKSU of Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air, and of course ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I don't really intend to do a speech. One, because it's 6 p.m. and I think everyone is really tired. But this is an exciting app that we've come up with. So actually, normally when you launch in the morning, then everyone is excited. But now everyone is like already very tired. So when we talk about this app, actually it started with me and Johan. We're bouncing this idea, because we were doing this low carbon mobility thing. We got crazy about scooters, bicycles, and I've always been doing low carbon for my days in Malaysian Institute of Planners. Was part of the writing team for the LCCF, but we always had a lot of problems actually in coming up. So when we had Asia Pacific Urban Forum last year, we wanted to test this idea on low carbon mobility, or rather micro mobility. So we started having scooters and we put it in Penang. And for 6 months, almost 6 months, Johan, it was a partnership between Urbanice and Anywheel from Singapore. We actually roll out this small fleet that we had, and we actually tested the fleet. We understand the behavior of the people using it. We also understood the problems that the scooters had with the Malaysian roads. Our roads are too hard. The screws keep coming out. Vandalism is another issue. So we were learning a lot of things on behavior. And I think that's why Johan spoke a lot about mindset in his speech just now. So we thought that, okay, how do we roll out these people to get into micromobility fast? Dr. Nagu, sometimes policies and procedures are good, but sometimes it's also difficult. So in our case, it was difficult. We tried to do the things right. We actually asked for permission. So we asked for permission to put our scooters on the road. Of course, most of the time we get a rejection. I should have done it the gangster way, just put the scooters everywhere and see what happens, But I can't do that. We are Urbanists. We're part of KPKT. We don't want the bad name. So, but this is things that the local government are not ready. The police are not ready. JPJ is not ready, So now we're trying a different way. We thought that we come up with an app. And we want to learn and maybe encourage others to start using their own personal fleets to actually start a healthy lifestyle. So because we tried the formal way, like what Singapore did, Taiwan did, But I think going through the bureaucracy is going to take some time. I'm not going to stop on that one. We're still going to proceed on that. But we thought that let's have an app that actually, it's going to be a bottom up. It's like a community system, a feedback system, So it started with just that idea. And then, of course, we met Surf, these wonderful young people, which I never know that we have this young, talented, so many talents in the country, So we were just having coffee in Serai, ideas lead to better ideas, and when you have more people in the table, definitely the ideas get better. So the idea behind this Active Life actually is to have an app that helps people to actually monitor not only their healthy lifestyle, but at the same time understanding how they're helping to take care of the environment at the same time. So we came up with what if we can calculate carbon? You know? It's something that I was very interested in for a very long time, you know. So that's how it started. But I think I should leave it to the, you know, I don't want to steal the show from Surf, because I think they, you know, I gave an idea, I opened up, I just give them a challenge. But I think what they did over just less than a month, less than a month, right? They did the most impossible thing. They actually came up with the app. So with that, I think I should just give back to Fatin and for you to bring Arif up on stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Puan Norliza, for your short yet insightful and unintentional speech. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Arif Imran bin Hassan Ashari, the Group CEO of SERV, to tell us a story of how SERV Low Carbon Initiative came to be, and the presentation on the Active Life app.
Yes. Assalamualaikum dan selamat petang yang berhormat Datuk Seri Haji Ismail, Timbalan Menteri KPKT. Yang sebenarnya interesting fact, Datuk Haji Ismail sebenarnya adalah saya punya neighbour, hometown neighbour. Kongsi pagar dekat rumah. Okay. Hometown neighbour. So, dan yang berbahagia Dr. Nagum, dan of course yang berbahagia juga Puan Norliza. Interesting fact juga basically apa yang di-share oleh Puan Norliza just now about when we met actually 3 weeks and a half ago. So we come up with an idea about Urbanice team come to us saying about the idea of urban resilience, connected mobility, and how do we promote, how do we empower communities and cities, like using an app, using a platform, so that we can bring everyone together in this platform. It become not just an app, but also a movement. And then I asked about the timeline, right? And then Urbanice team, Puan Norliza said, we have a MUF event, MUF Forum, Malaysia Urban Forum, end of next month. Oh, okay, that's 3.5 weeks from now, right? So it's kind of crazy, right? So we come back, discuss, and then we revert back saying yes, right? So I would like to thank all my team, especially Johan, and the developers. The main developer is here, Hijazi, and all the team, Irma, Fatin, and everyone, all my team, for their hard work and sleepless night. So it's kind of crazy to launch an app within 3 weeks of timeline, right? So the idea of SERV as a whole is actually a mobility-focused innovation company. So we build technology for mobility, platform that can innovate mobility and smart cities as a whole, right? So as a division, we have a future plan, right, for low carbon initiative. So whatever Urbanice share to us, right, basically is our pipeline for the future, but not now, right? But because of the call, right, to help Urbanice and to help also the community and the nation, so we kind of expedite, right? Okay, instead of having it in the pipeline for maybe next year, why not we do it now, right? So all crazy, because we are startups, right? Young talents, we are crazy. So, so we start to build, and it happens, right? So we get it ready to be used, at least for all you guys in this room today. So first of all, I would like to address Active Life is not just an app, but Active Life is actually a movement, a collaborative movement. It is also a platform that can bring communities and cities together to achieve healthy lifestyle, climate responsive, and also connected mobility together. So it is built with 3 main agenda, right? The first one is healthy lifestyle, right? How do we promote healthy lifestyle by getting it promote from the ground itself, right? So that, like Johan shared earlier, we're kind of providing rewards. So it's not having the rewards live in the app yet, but it's about building the platform, building the base so that rewards can come in later at the stage, so that we can have all these local councils, communities to have their own gamification and their own event of getting people to be active together. So it's kind of simple. So for now, there are only two types of getting active. It's either you walk, run, right, or jogging, or another second one is either you ride a bicycle. So our system can only read that two kind of activities yet. Okay. The second agenda is environmental awareness, climate responsive. So we kind of convert a reward, a quick reward, a quick win for everyone that walk, not just by knowing your calories, how much calories that you burn, but also by knowing how much gram of carbon that you just save by walking or riding a bicycle, right? So we have it count as number of grams, and also we create a leaderboards, right? So that you can have a group, you can create your own group. It's either cities, it's either campus, it's either working environment, your organization and all that. You can create your own group, and then you can have your own event or have your own competition or contest together, and you can create your own reward that can reward whoever have the most gram of carbon being saved, right, daily. And then from that point of view, right, so this is coming soon agenda, right? From having a user-generated usage or content, right? Then we aim to build a unified mobility platform. So it's not just about integrating with current innovators or current platforms that already are in the market, but it's also building a platform or a solution that can have maybe you have multiple bicycles that want to rent it out, right? And then there are users that want to rent your bicycles, or maybe you have scooters, or maybe local councils want to have their own scooters to be ready at their own cities. Then they can have it as their own business, and then people can also rent it out. So it's about empowering microeconomic growth, and also everyone can have their own fleet business altogether. So this will come in the phase 2 of the development. And then from having all of this, right, just imagine about the insights that we can get, right? We talk about today, we talk about urban resilience, we talk about sustainable cities and everything. So it should come with enough information or insights, the usage. And then it should also come with education. So this is a platform that can help us to have education on it, and then also that can enable us to have an insight or information of the movement of the people in the cities, communities in the cities. So I don't want to take so much of your time, right? And let's get active, right? Okay, so this is just a social experiment, right? I just want to learn in this room, how many of us are using iOS or Apple? All right. Okay, then how many of us are using Android? All right, half or more than half. I saw that it is more than half, all right? So it's good news of everyone, but better news for the Android users, right? Because of this is an early beginning of the launch. Having said launch means that it's not the end of the development, but it is the beginning of active life. So because of more of you guys are using Android, so today we're going to start the launch of the Android version first. And then the iOS will be coming soon as possible. We're targeting to be next week. So this is the QR code. All the Android users, you can all, oh, sorry. So all Android users, you can scan, have it ready, register first before the launch from the YBT Malaysia Minister letter. Thank you.
Many thanks to Mr. Arif for that introduction of the Active Life app and how it stresses on the importance of living a healthy lifestyle while reducing your carbon footprint. As they say, even the smallest effort can help make a huge impact for both ourselves and the earth. Now here's the exciting part. In order to make this official, I'd like to call upon Yang Berhormat Dato Sri Dr. Haji Ismail, the Deputy Minister of the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, to launch the Active Life app for everyone to use.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia prihatin. Yang berusaha Puan Nurliza Hashim, CEO Urbanice Malaysia selaku penganjur program Malaysia Urban Forum 2020 MUF2020. I have to deliver my speech in bahasa because dia dah prepare speech saya dalam bahasa. Rakan strategik daripada SERV yang berusaha Encik Arif Imran. Where's Arif? Macam mana jadi api yang never? Tak pernah tengok, tak perasan. You from Tosire. Oh, where's your father? Cikgu Hasan, next to my house. sorry. Ketua Pegawai Eksekutif SERV berbagai Dr. Nagulendran, Timbalan Ketua Sosial Alam Sekitar, Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air, para delegasi, para tetamu terhormat, para pembentang, moderator, para pegawai kementerian, jabatan, rakan-rakan media, datuk tuan-tuan dan perempuan yang saya hormati sekalian. This is very interesting forum dan juga yang dilakukan oleh Malaysia. Saya dia first time, Puan, cukup menarik. Saya because I am the politician, I am not the scientist, I am not the professional punya ni. Pertama kali saya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih kepada penganjur kerana menjemput saya ke Majlis Pelancaran Aplikasi Aktif live di Malaysia Urban Forum 2020. Oleh kerana Saudara Arif Imran berada di belakang rumah saya, maka saya akan jumpa dia kemudian untuk registerkan saya punya aplikasi aktif ini. InsyaAllah pelancaran aplikasi ini sangat bertepatan dengan masanya untuk negara kita Malaysia bagi mengatasi masalah perbandaran, terutamanya berkaitan kesesakan dalam bandar, perubahan iklim serta untuk memberi kesedaran kepada orang awam tentang pentingnya penjagaan alam sekitar, kualiti udara dan gaya hidup sihat. Tadi beberapa panelis dari panel telah membentangkan dan memberikan pandangan mereka tentang betapa pentingnya kita menjaga alam sekitar dan pengurangan karbon di negara kita. Kalau kita lihat proses alam ini, pokok-pokok melakukan proses pengeluaran oksigen, fotosintesis, ya. Kemudian menyerap karbon dioksida dan kita mengeluarkan karbon. Betul, saya tak tahu. Tapi itulah prosesnya. That's why pentingnya kita berperanan untuk sama-sama bukan sekadar untuk hidup manusia, tetapi untuk makhluk ataupun kejadian yang lain, termasuk tanaman dan sebagainya, haiwan dan sebagainya. Jadi aplikasi aktif Life ini merupakan satu aplikasi yang membudayakan hidup sihat rendah karbon. Saya bertanya kepada doktor, apakah golfing ataupun main golf ni juga boleh diaplikasikan dalam active life ni? Boleh ya? Oh, kita boleh discuss kemudian. Mudayakan hidup sihat rendah karbon yang direka oleh syarikat Surf Stable. This is local company. Saya tengok memang dia yang anak-anak muda kita, very very good. Congratulations. Berikan tepukan kepada mereka. Yang direka oleh syarikat Surf Stable dengan kerjasama Malaysia di bawah Kementerian Perumahan dan Kerjaan Tempatan. Aplikasi ini bukan sahaja menangani isu kesesakan lalu lintas dan pencemaran, malah dapat memperbaiki kualiti bandar agar menjadi rendah karbon. Saya percaya melalui penggunaan aplikasi ini, ianya dapat menambah baik kesejahteraan komuniti di mana kejiranan dapat bekerjasama untuk mengurangkan jejak karbon mereka atau carbon footprints. Dengan izin, dalam parlimen kita pakai dengan izin. Saya tertarik apa yang disebutkan oleh Arif tadi, di mana umpamanya dengan menunggang basikal kita boleh melihat berapa karbon yang telah potong kita keluarkan. Dan saya bercakap dengan Puan Noriza untuk kita menyediakan basikal di kawasan kita. Kemudian kita sewa dan kita boleh bisnes, buat perniagaan. Dan kita buat pertandingan untuk menggerakkan hubungan di kalangan masyarakat di kawasan kita. Antara fungsi lain aplikasi ini ialah ia dapat menjejak karbon kepada peringkat individu, komuniti dan bandar melalui aktiviti berjalan kaki atau berbasikal ke taman-taman awam yang ada di bandar selain untuk di destinasi berdekatan dari tempat tinggal dan tempat kerja. Setakat ni belum ada lagi, tak buat lagi doktor. Setakat ni belum ada lagi. Belum ada lagi. Aplikasi ni belum ada. Oh baru saya lancar baru ada. Saya pula pakai apa, tak boleh nak. Apabila semua masyarakat bandar dapat meneruskan amalan yang baik ini, ia berpotensi dapat mengeratkan hubungan komuniti melalui berkongsi mod pengangkutan awam atau mobiliti rendah karbon. Malah ia bukan hanya diperlukan oleh mereka di kawasan bandar, tetapi aplikasi ini saya kira boleh diperluaskan di kawasan luar bandar, rural area, kerana nantinya kawasan luar bandar ini akan menjadi kawasan bandar. Mau tidak mau, ini realiti yang berlaku dalam dunia kita. Datuk, tuan-tuan dan perempuan sekalian, saya tidak bercadang untuk bercakap panjang. Yang penting bagaimana kita nak launching aplikasi ini. Patutnya tekan button, that's enough. Jadi saya merayu agar perubahan ini perlu datang pada setiap peringkat, di top management hinggalah ke bottom, grassroots. Dan kalau boleh kita fahamkan, dedahkan mereka tentang aplikasi ini yang cukup baik pada saya. Dan tingkah laku kita secara bersama, tindakan kita secara bersama yang akan memberi impak ketara kepada perubahan iklim. Untuk mencapai kemampanan sesebuah bandar seiring dengan SDG 17, iaitu Partnership for the Goals, kerjasama antara kerajaan, kementerian, swasta dan masyarakat awam amat penting. Seperti pembangunan aplikasi pada hari ini, hendaklah sentiasa diteruskan. Tadi kita berbincang bagaimana kita ada undang-undang, kita ada adakta, kita ada law. Bila come to implementation, this is another problem, ada issue. Dengan penggunaan aplikasi ini yang lebih luas, diharap dapat membawa kita ke satu tahap yang gaya hidup rendah karbon dan sekaligus dapat menangani kesan perubahan iklim sebagai satu tanggungjawab bersama. Jadi saya ingat Dengan itu terlancarlah aplikasi live, active live. Dengan lepas bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya lancarkan aplikasi active live memudayakan hidup sihat rendah karbon. Terima kasih dan tahniah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much to Yang Berhormat for helping us officiate this launch. Now, to actually officiate this launch, let's play a video explaining about Active Life. Now, before we end, I'd like to ask Yang Berbahagia Dr. Nagulendran, Deputy Secretary General Environment of the Ministry of Environment and Water, to express his remarks on the launch and the app.
This is a bit of a surprise, but I'll try. Ya, terima kasih saudari pengurusi majlis buat majlis ini dan juga kepada Nasha yang masih ada di Dewan ni saya rasa daripada forum tadi. Yang berhormat Dato' Dr. Haji Ismail bin Haji Abdul Muttalib, Timbalan Menteri Perumahan dan Kerajaan Tempatan, yang berusaha Puan Hajar Rotina, KP Landscape Malaysia, dan juga Puan Nurliza Hashim, CEO Urbanice Malaysia, dan juga rakan saya Dr. Gary yang telah memulakan majlis sebentar tadi. If the crew team could just, all right, okay. Yeah, before I go to, I got 2 slides. I think this is a really good app because saya rasa ramai yang melakukan aktiviti sekarang, dan jika nak YB Timbalan ya, kami di KASA, di Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air, pada setiap Rabu selepas postcap kami berbasikal. Kami berbasikal dengan, jadi digalakkan warga-warga KPKT dan juga warga-warga lain datanglah ke Blok F, tepat 4.30 kita bertolak every Wednesday after postcap. Dan juga pada setiap hari Sabtu pagi kami membersihkan sungai. Kami ada program cleaning the river sebab kita believe in walking the talk. Sebab kami daripada Kementerian Alam Sekitar dan Air, kita buat policy saja tidak boleh, kita juga kena turun padang. Right, so harap app ni akan juga masuk ke platform iOS sebab ramai di antara kita memakai Apple, so kita harap it will come to the iOS platform as well. Terima kasih. Saya cuma ada 2 slide. Can I go to the next one myself? Right. Saya rasa forum yang telah mendahului program ini sangat penting ya, sebab saya rasa bandar dan juga urban areas, I'm not used to standing, I think I'll use this if this works. Hello? Yeah. Can you all hear me? Yes. Saya rasa forum yang telah mendahului pelancaran app tadi ini sangat penting sebab di Malaysia hanya 5% ya, daripada lebih kurang 4.6% kita, tanah kita yang dibangunkan, dan 77% daripada penduduk tinggal di kawasan ini. Jadi tindakan-tindakan yang kita ambil untuk mengurangkan karbon di kawasan-kawasan urban ni sangat luas jangkauan dia. Jadi many actions that we take on urban settings can really have far-reaching implications. And I think, Yasmin, you asked a very good question. Who looks after forests? Forest is actually not the Ministry of Environment, unfortunately. We are so fragmented that it's actually the Ministry of Energy and Natural Resource that looks at the policy matters, but forest is a state matter. We inherited a very unique constitution when we gained independence, so forest, land, water still is under state. But forest is also important for climate action. So we need to work more coordinated. So we are happy YB Timbalan, YB Perdana Menteri telah bersetuju untuk mempengerusikan MyCAC, Malaysian Climate Action Council, yang akan bersidang pada bulan November. So kita harap dengan ada majlis sebegini rupa di peringkat paling tinggi, semua kementerian dan juga kerajaan negeri dapat bersatu untuk mengambil tindakan bersama. Ya. So it's very important. Why I showed this slide is sebelum saya membuat perubahan iklim, saya menjaga harimau. Jadi bila buat dasar tentang harimau, jumpa pun tak. Ya, jumpa pun tak. Lepas tu, when I did policy on tigers, that was in 2009, kita ada 500 ekor harimau Melaya. Harimau Melaya ni saya tekankan Melaya sebab harimau Melaya berbeza dengan harimau yang lain. Dan lepas tu sekarang saya buat perubahan iklim, I've never seen a Malayan tiger wild. But to do a policy on urban, you can see it. You can manage it, you see. So what you don't see is very hard to manage. But tigers are equally important. And ever since doing that policy, unfortunately, our tiger numbers have dwindled to below 200. So that's alarming, and that's an indicator of what's happening. So I think from the forum, apa yang saya rasa sangat penting is a time to refine and redefine what development is in cities. Saya rasa we have always been so gung-ho about globalization. If you walk to any city sekarang kan, you pergi KL ke, you pergi Delhi, it looks nearly the same. Cuma Delhi bising sikit lah. Okay, tapi KL pun semakin bising. Kalau pergi dekat Kota Raya, macam pergi ke Nepal, ya, so many Nepali shop, Bangla shop. So, what I'm trying to say is, in that DNA of being globalized, cities are losing its own DNA. And that's something that is very sad. And unfortunately, this little virus, this is a real picture under electron microscope of how a COVID virus looks, is making us think again what development is. And you see this, because it affects security, I think all of you all spoke about it, it affects national security, health security, ecosystem security. I think Serena from Kazana spoke about food. We also need to be careful. Kerana urbanization, people like to keep aquarium, people like to keep exotic fish. Arapaima ni, masa kecil comel berlaku. Letak dalam aquarium kat rumah kan. Tapi orang bila dah besar, dia tak tahu nak buat apa, dia letak dekat sungai. Arapaima ni daripada South America, dan dia ganas bila dah besar. Dia ganas. Ikan-ikan kita ni elok, disiplin. So when they live in our river, habis kelisa kita. Arowana is from our rivers, you know. They wipe out our arowana species. So we really need to think even about ecosystem security and of course food security. Food security with genetically modified organisms, genetically modified food. This whole concept about globalization needs a rethink. And also, I'll have slides. And also I think cities, I think progressive cities need to think about what development really is. Development does not need to go on the classical GDP where it just calculates economy. It needs to have IWF, is Inclusive Wealth Index. Jika YB Timbalan ada kesempatan bila COVID telah habis, elok pergi ke Bhutan. Bhutan adalah satu negara di mana di dalam Bhutan ialah sebuah negara di mana mereka measure happiness index. Walaupun mereka sekarang nombor 2, Denmark kononnya nombor 1, I believe so. They are number 2, but they're very happy, they're very simple. Dan Bhutan jika you pergi kepada their cities, it's still on their own DNA. Bentuk bangunan dia, bentuk pakaian dia, makanan mereka. Dan mereka gembira, dan mereka ada konsep di mana golongan muda menjaga golongan tua. So now many countries are thinking of how we are also going to have an aging society. Pagi tadi Perdana Menteri mengatakan bahawa menjelang 2045, we are going to be an aging society. So saya rasa konsep-konsep ketimuran that we always had, konsep-konsep ketimuran yang kita telah ada, perlu diperketengahkan. Ya? So I think we need to look at that. I think we need to circularize our economy. I think waste minimization, congratulations to MUF for not using single-use plastic. A big round of applause. It was really great to see that. Plastic is a big problem. Bila kita pergi bersih sungai, bila air naik, pokok nampak comel, merah-merah, tapi bukan merah sebab ada buah, merah sebab ada plastik. So jenuh kita nak bersihkan plastik yang tersangkut di atas pokok tu. So ini antara whatever we sow, we reap. So plastik yang tidak dihandle dengan baik akan pulang. So kita kena lihat pada waste minimization dan ini juga sama mencabar seperti hutan sebab banyak agensi, ada KASA, ada KPKT, ada local government kan. So ramai rakan-rakan saya, dia segregate waste dekat rumah, plastik dan sebagainya. Tapi bila lori sampah datang, semua masuk sekali. So segregation tu sampai pintu rumah saja. So I think itu menimbulkan perkara yang mana KPKT dengan kami boleh bincang how to make sure it goes through the whole life cycle. Kalau tidak, semangat mereka pudar lah dari YB kan. Mereka buat waste segregation tapi tidak sepenuhnya ya. So I will go quickly. Of course, our consumption and production patterns. Saya rasa banyak negara dan juga city yang semakin progresif. I think Penang is thinking of looking at a meat-less day in a week. Sebab penghasilan daging menyumbang lebih kurang 9% daripada greenhouse gas. Jadi apa yang kita makan, apa yang kita buat, of course mobility dan juga makanan itu sangat penting ya. And then ethnocentric development. This is what I'm trying to say, that KL needs to really look at some ethnocentric. Kita kaya dengan budaya, bukan kita tidak ada budaya. Kita kaya budaya Melayu, budaya Cina, budaya Indah. Kita kena menengahkan KL becomes a unique city, not like just any city. Ada Zara, ada HMV, ada Tesco. It's all international brands. Where is our own brands? Is it our food? So that's something that we need to think. Of course, urban farming and biodiversity. Malaysia lah negara ke-12 kaya dari segi biodiversity. Tapi biodiversity index, if this is live, I'm sorry Singapore, but Singapore is holding Singapore City Biodiversity Index. Dia punya jenama dia. Walaupun kita negara yang kaya dengan biodiversity, because as what PM said this morning, many of the zoonotic diseases that's going to emerge is because we are encroaching into biodiversity. And the barrier between man and wildlife is becoming so close, so the next frontier of disease, so we also have to look at nature-based solution. I'm glad that the KP Landscape spoke about it for flood mitigation and many others. Sebenarnya ramai yang tak tahu, kalau kita bersihkan kawasan bakau, kita tak ada durian satu hari nanti. Sebab durian didebungakan oleh keluang, flying fox. And flying fox are foragers in kawasan bakau. Lama-lama musang king tak ada, tinggal musang je. Alright, itu yang kita kena faham. The interconnected of the ecosystem is so important, and I'll be quicker, and the power of one. I think we speak a lot, of course government can do policies, Urbanice can organize forums like this, but if you come in here and nothing happens, nothing happens. I think just taking one simple step, say maybe from tomorrow I'll not use single-use plastic, you're making a huge difference. Nak naik public transport, I tried, but from Kajang to go to Putrajaya, tak ada bus satu je. Pukul 7.05. You miss that bus, that's it. YB, tak ada bus, tak ada transport. So you kena naik bus to Serdang, take a train, jump into the ERL transit, go to Putrajaya. By the time you reach office, it's 2 hours, 48 minutes. And it costs you much, much more than driving. So these are challenges that we have. So the power of one is very important. And I'm going to end. I think Ashwin started that C seeming to be a challenging word, right? With climate change, COVID and all that. But I think it also provides an opportunity if we together build our capacity, our capability, and we become more complementary. Because I think it's very important, we speak about state government, federal government, we need to be more complementary and the courage to make the change. So I'm introducing you now 5 C's that, no, not the 4 C's, 5 C's that can make the change. With that, thank you very much. Can I have the next slide, if it comes up, because that's an important slide? All right, they decided not to show that slide, but it's okay. That slide is actually a project by KASA untuk membuat denai sepanjang Malaysia with all our rivers. Denai Sungai Kebangsaan sebanyak 10,000 km, dan ini kita baru buat dekat Kelantan hari ini, masih buat. Tujuan dia dua. Satu, untuk menggalakkan rakyat Malaysia mencintai sungai, jadi jangan buang kami pergi dekat Bangi, YB, orang buang kereta dalam sungai. Kereta. So macam-macam benda lah kita jumpa kan. So we are trying, so with this when people walk, people segan nak buang. Jadi dia mencintai sungai, mengelakkan pencemaran, dan juga my YB menteri selalu kata segalanya bermula dengan air kan. So that's why we are trying to do this denai kebangsaan. Dan jika ke lapangan hari Sabtu, turun depan UCAM, kami bersih sungai. And lastly, I'd like to end by congratulating YB Minister and YB Deputy Minister, KPKT, Urbanice, and of course, I think everyone who was involved in making MUF 2020 a success, and it was great because you are actually helping to do our work by helping to reduce carbon and addressing climate change. And climate change needs to be mainstream. Terima kasih semua. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Yang Berbahagia for that very insightful and enlightening speech. And I think one of the things that he said was really, really good, where anything that starts with an intention and you just do one thing for every single day, and that will make a huge impact. So now we've come to the end of our event for today, but before we adjourn, let's take a commemorative photo to end this event.